I was walking behind them or beside them, and I was just trying to be quiet and listen to them. He's talking about people that they have seen work and all that at work, and saying that they go to church, but yet they cuss like the sailor. And I'm talking about two lost men. I'm talking about unless something's happened in their life, they're headed to hell right this very moment. But I'm listening to them as we're going out, and I just thought I'll be quiet this time. And as they're going on, they're talking about, yeah, that one cusses, and yeah, that one, and they just start bringing it up. And I got curious about it. I said, I got worried. I don't think I'm the best Christian in the world. I don't try to flaunt or anything like that. But I just went, I said, hey man, I said, I called up with my son. Let me ask you a question. I said, you talked about all these others that said they're Christians. I said, I hate to ask this, but I said, where do I lie at? And I thought, oh boy, here we go. And I'm thinking, boy, I should not have asked him. But I tried, never flaunted or anything like that. And the one response was this. He said, oh, Greg, I don't even put you in jail. He said, you one of them superstar Christians. I said, what? I said, are we in the 60s now? I said, I'm not in no superstar. But what I'm saying is this. He didn't even put me in. And I thank the Lord for that I wasn't in that bunch there.
Man.
I've seen where we're driving down the road, and I'm trying to say this story without putting thoughts in your mind. But he's seen some stuff in the back of that truck, and this guy sitting up front that was lost, and this other one was driving, was supposed to be a Christian, and he's talking about stuff in the back of that truck, and he lets a word go, and I'm back there going, I've been working on I've been trying to slide in there, giving them the gospel little bit by little bit, and all that. But listen, I'm saying that just cringed inside of me. I know I'm not perfect, but I sure am trying my best around a lost and dying world to try to show Jesus the best I can. I feel like I'm asleep at times, but I tell you what, you know what'll get you awake? It's some good old water. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. Throw it on them. Amen. I talk about fire with the Lord, but the Lord's also considered water too. He's the water of life. What some of us need to do is just get a good dousing. Amen. Wake us up and let us see where we're at with God. God needs us more today than He's ever needed us. I know everybody's important over through the years, but we're down to the last countdown. I'm telling you, like I said the other night, we're in Noah's day. If we were in Noah's days, it'd be sprinkling rain. I mean, God is relying upon us to get the gospel out to folks. And listen, while at a time, just like in the disciples, He said, can't you pray with me? Just pray with me just a little bit. That's all. Here He was fixing to die for the sins of the world. They just too tired. I hear that more than anything in the world today. Going to houses and all that. But preacher, have stuff we let it go and quit. I promise you, we don't need to have stuff we've got today.
Amen.
I'm going to be honest with you on this. I'm tired. Amen. That preachers get tired.
Amen.
But I want to tell you this. I learned this for my own self. When I was up at Children's Home, this was 98 to 2000. And I recall, we'd work over there in Children's during the daytime. Us men be out mowing, cutting, doing everything. And get so caught up. And I made myself a set time. I'd go out in the woods. I'd brought big old granite stone off of the mountain out there. I rolled that thing back in there, just about 15, 20 yards back in there, maybe a little place out. And I said, I'm going to make myself go back there. I'm tired of playing around. That's the way I have talked to myself. I played football. That's the way I talk to myself. You say you had to kick yourself in the pants, you better believe it. But I was over there, and I'd have to find out what was going on in the news. We had TV, but we didn't have time to watch it. What I'm saying, I'm not saying I'm some spiritual guru again, but I'm telling you, there is a difference. We took care of the kids. We did our jobs. And I make sure I make time for God.
Amen.
I want to tell you something. Ever since then, I have been pushing myself to get back there.
Yeah.
When I found out that I could actually exist without a cell phone, they were just coming out. I could exist without a TV. You're saying, you're crazy.
Come on, man.
No.
Yes, sir.
I'm not one of them that takes your TV out and shoots it. I don't believe you paid money for that thing. Amen. I need to know when a tornado's coming. Amen. I don't need to know. not crazy. But I'm saying we spend so much more time with other things.
Yes, sir.
It ain't nothing. Listen, I'm going to hurt myself worse than anything. Well, I can sit there and watch Andy Griffith 3 and 4 and 5 times. Let's say 4 times. That's 2 hours. 2 hours. And then I say I get up and go read my Bible for 30 minutes. And I don't know if I can handle this.
You're right.
Yeah.
I know exactly. How many times have I felt, I've been studying and I literally just go, boom, and I hit my head like that. And I wake up and go, man, you say, wow. You have a spiritual warfare within you.
Yes, sir.
And I'm telling you, I ain't telling you nothing that I'm not telling myself. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
It's not who dresses the best, who talks the best,
Amen.
who prays the best and all that. Listen, some of the best prayers are some of the shortest.
That's
They
right.
get a hold of God. They don't have to take 20 minutes to get a hold of God. Amen. D.L. Moody said it one time, said he called on the God to dismiss, and he sat there for about 5 minutes after he stood there a while. He said, all right, all you fellas, while brother so-and-so's getting his heart right, y'all come on, he's dismissed by now. Amen. I'm saying, boy, you get a hold of God at home. You don't have to prime and pump. You'll be right there.
Yes, sir.
But I'm talking spiritually awake. But let me say this, not only that, but I want to say that he goes to a place that where, you remember old Peter? Peter had done said, I will not deny you, I'll be with you, I'll die for you, and I believe Peter meant it with all of himself. But you know what happened? We found him afar off. In the Bible. That I believe that, like I say, the apostasy, you're seeing things happening today, right before your eyes. You don't need a concordance. You don't need when he talks about a falling away, you can see it. I talked today with somebody, and we was talking about, if you was to take the gyms, and you was to take all the trips, and everything away from a church, and all you have is just, I've said one time on the radio, I said, if everybody would just chain up the gym and cancel everything, saying, hey, Wednesdays and Sundays, we're just going to come together and we're just going to pray. We're going to seek God's face and we're going to wait and see what God will do for us then. I said that, and I said, but I know nobody's going to do this. I said, we really see where people's hearts is.
Amen.
You take away the stuff, and you'll find out where they're at.
Yes, sir.
People want things to do. You take the lights and the smoke and the music away, what you got? You find out a lot of times you ain't got much of nothing.
Right. Amen.
And I'm going to say this, and I got to hurry. I want to say this to you. I want to say that if we're not careful, it's already sliding in our independent movement.
You're right.
Yes, sir.
No doubt.
Feel good. Hang from the chandeliers. You know something? The Lord, all the time He was here, He even talks about in James. He don't talk about us grabbing the chandeliers and going, woo! The way to God is down to your knees.
Amen.
But you watch our independent movements today,
Yeah.
they're all about getting it up and who shouts the loudest. There's a lot of people shouting all the way to hell.
Yes, sir.
All they got is a little bit of religion.
Amen.
Right.
They ain't got nothing inside.
Amen.
I got to hurry. But old Peter, he was afar off. But I want to say this. Those disciples, later on, you remember when Christ died upon the old rugged cross? He had died for them just as much as He died for us. And as that happened, they done buried Him. They done put Him in the tomb. Those disciples had been listening to Him. He done been telling them, I'm going to rise. I'm going to raise. Just as Jonah was in the belly of the well for 3 days and 3 nights, so shall the Son of Man be in the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. In other words, He's gone down to take captivity out. Those that are, like Ephesians talks about, He set free captivity. He brought them out. What I'm saying is this, He's the first fruits of the resurrection. Nobody gets up unless He gets up. He comes up out of that grave. And listen, you know where the disciples were? Remember I said He stepped off the scene? He died on that cross. They put Him in the grave. He's gone. Where do you find the disciples? They're behind the door and they're afraid.
Yeah.
You'll see them. We found them asleep. We found them afar off. But now we find them afraid. They're afraid to go witness. They're afraid. And I probably would have been too. You probably had to dry out, pull me out, scream. Because listen, they didn't have somebody just tongue lash them. They had somebody that cut their head off if they proclaimed Jesus Christ. They had governments that were coming against them. Their own people were coming against them. And I understand that part. But they were behind closed doors. And Christ comes right in the midst of them. And he tells Doubting Thomas is what we call him. Thomas was at the first meeting. I think it was, if I'm getting it right. No, he wasn't at the first meeting. That's right. He wasn't at the first meeting when Christ come through the door and all that and sat down and ate with him. And then the second time they seen Thomas was like, yeah, right. I bet so. Yeah, he's been here. But the Bible says that Jesus came and he come through that door and Thomas seen him. Thomas made mention over here before Christ come along. He said, except I put my fingers in his prints and into his side. He said, I will not believe. But yet here comes Christ inside of there. And the first thing he says to him, he says, Thomas, he says, put your hand right there. Thomas, put your hands right up in here. What was he saying? He said, Thomas, I'm alive, son. And old Thomas said, oh my Lord and my God. And you know what? I love this next verse. I love it. I love it. I love it. Jesus said, boy, that's great, son. You see me. You touch me. You see that and you believe in me. He said, but greater are those that have not seen but yet do believe. You know who he's talking about? He's talking about us. I haven't touched Christ. I haven't seen him with my naked eye. But I sure have felt him. Amen. He's got in the bosom of my soul. When I was lost and I asked Jesus to save me, boy, I came up clean and clear. I'll tell you, it's like I took a bleach bath. Amen. I didn't worry what people thought anymore about who I was or whatever. I was hunting for peace, and God gave it to me that day. Let me say this to you. I remember when I did get saved. And I'll get back to that afraid here in a second. You ever notice when you got saved, boy, you didn't care what anybody thought.
That's right.
I remember I was up there, and like I said, I was a church member. I thought I'd been saved, and this, that, the other. I did what the Bible says, but God had not dealt with me. And let me say, boy, my wife, she'd seen me so much. She said, later on, I'll put it to you this way. It took her a month after I was saved to see a difference in me. Here I still had the same suit, same haircut, the same Bible, the same everything. But yet it took her a month to say, I see a difference in you. I've been in church. I've been doing everything I thought. But you know what? You can't hide God inside of a person. Well, let me say, that week I got saved on that Monday night. I was trying to find my pastor, and I knew he worked the job and this, that, the other. Now, he was my brother-in-law, a lot older and everything. I was trying to get a hold of him. I was wanting to tell him the good news. And that was Tuesday, and couldn't get a hold of him until Wednesday. We drove 30 miles up to where he was at. I was on the other side of the church there. And I drove up to his house. I told him, I said, Brother Dennis, I said, man, I got some news to tell you. I said, I was lost. And I know what's going through his mind, but you done this about 5 years ago. I said, I was lost. But I said, but I told him, I said, the difference is that the Spirit of God dealt with me, showed me I was lost. I said, I got saved, Brother Dennis. He said, well, that's good. He said, tonight at church, I'll have you stand up there. I said, okay. And so I go up there, and I stand in front of everybody. I got a big old gleaming smile. My wife's over crying like a baby. You would have thought she's the one got saved. I'm over there like this. But you know something? I didn't really care if everybody walked out there and said, I don't accept that. I don't want him in our church. I didn't care. You know why? Because I found what I've been looking for. All I've ever wanted was peace in my heart. And God gave it to me. And I didn't care less what somebody thought. Amen.
Amen.
Why is it that afraidness leaves? I mean, that courage leaves? Have you ever thought about it? Because you walk away.
That's it.
Boy, I can still remember them. You remember the first time God spoke to you after you got saved? Boy, He'd ask you to do something. I mean, God help me. I'm no carpenter by any means. I'm just now learning. I've been trying to learn the last 20 years trying to impress my wife. She knew more about cars and carpentry than I did when we got married. I promised if it wasn't a football, baseball, or anything like that, I didn't have nothing to do with it. But I'm telling you, I was on the backside of that church one day, and there was a guy supposed to be helping me. We was made just laying timbers. And I was like, oh, I was panicking. I said, man, I want to get this done. And I'm there, and I'm like, I had been saved about 2 months or so. And boy, that thought come to my mind. I said, God, you know my heart. God, I don't know how to get this fixed, but I want to finish this. I want to be true to my word on this. Please, God, please. And all of a sudden, that was what it was. I didn't want to cut this big old root. I'm talking about one of them oak trees that's from 1887 was right there on that hill. And its root was where that thing was heavy around. I didn't feel like chopping. I've been working in the foundry at US 5. I was tired. And the thought hit me. I looked there. And it was like, well, see if that timber will just go all the way across on top of that root and leave that dirt right there and see if it's all level. I had some level. I put it. I said, pretty good. I said, praise the Lord. You thought I built a mansion. I was like, whoa. Hey, but you know something? God heard my prayer.
That's right.
I had an open door and access.
Amen.
And it tickled me. But boy, you let things come into our lives. It takes place over God. And you get to that scaredness. You don't want to witness no more like you used to. Why is it you wanted to tell every bird and every drunk and everybody you could about Jesus? But when you got saved, I had this said and I said it myself. I said, why ain't everybody else out there witnessing? Why ain't everybody else out there doing this? Why ain't they doing this? What's wrong with people? What it was, they got settled down.
Amen. You're right.
They'd say in their hearts, it'll wear out of them. Can I say something? It don't have to wear off.
Amen.
You can still be the same as you was when you got saved. But I want to say this. I gotta hurry. I don't hurry here. People have gotten quiet, so that's when I get scared. I would go to the other point, another one I had about adrift, but I'm not going to do that. But we've seen that. I believe characteristics we'll find in the church is people will be asleep, people will be afar off, people will be afraid to witness. But I want to say this last one, as she comes and gets us all ready for invitation. I thought of, as I was thinking about this, and he talks about abiding faithfully. I had seen the asleep, the afar off, the afraid, all those things I believe we'll find. But I do believe God will come back and He'll find some that is just abiding faithful. They might not be tearing it down by the acres, but they just holding the fort. They're there every time the doors are open. They're standing there for the Lord, and they're saying, if there's 2 here, I'm going to be here. If there's 5 here, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be in my position, and I'm going to hold on. Let me ask you a question. Since the Air Force Base is right here, I imagine y'all know more than I do about all this, but I do know this much. If you got 10 servicemen, and you put them around, 1 at the gate, and 3 by the airplane, and 3 over the carrier, and then you're over in the office. Let's say that 1 by the gate. Is he responsible for what happens to those 3 if they lay down on their job? He's just responsible for his gate.
Amen.
Can I say this? You don't have to be responsible for everybody else. Just do what God says. Just do your job God has given you. If it's putting letters on a sign, do it to the best you can. If it is whatever it might be, just do it. Abiding faithful. John, later on, you'll find him at the cross, and Jesus cuts off his earthly ties, says, son, behold thy mother, and mother, behold thy son. He left, and he left his mama in the hands of John. You don't see John all that much, but just here and there. I believe he was taking care of her. And you'll find John pop up in Acts a little bit, and then you'll find him writing in 1st and 2nd and 3rd John, but then you find him in Revelation. And he's out there on an old rocky island. He's all by himself. The Bible talks about, this is where character is really at. It's not what you see of a person out when they're out in public. Characteristic is what you find when you're all alone.
Amen.
No, John's all alone. John says, I'm going to have a meeting today.
Hey.
John bows down and starts praising God. The Bible talks about in Revelation 1. John said that he started describing him, or talking to him, so to speak, and he said he felt his hand, his right hand of comfort, and in other words, and also of being a person that he agrees with what he's doing. In other words, he's putting his hand upon it, and he was saying, everything's all right, John. No, John said, I turned to see, and he said his hair was white as wool, his eyes was a flame of fire. He was saying that he had a golden girdle upon him, and his robe, and he was talking about his mouth, the sound of it was as many waters. In other words, the one John seen upon the cross as the Lamb of God, now he sees him as the Lion out of the tribe of Judah. He was basically telling John, thou boy John, you just keep on keeping on for me, son. It ain't gonna be long, you'll be home with me, buddy. I'm telling you, that's what he says to his children today. Just keep on, children. Yeah, don't let it catch you asleep. Don't let him find you a way off. Don't let him find you a drill. But listen, just let him find you abiding faithful. I'm going to say this last thing in case somebody's here that doesn't know the Lord. The last thing is this. When the Lord finds you, if you're not saved, I pray He don't find you alone. Because if God comes back and you're not saved by His grace, you haven't asked Him to forgive you your sins, you'll be left here all alone. I don't want to die, but I'm going to have to if God tarries His coming. But I want to tell you this, I won't die alone.
Right.
Oh, I have somebody that walks with me and talks with me all the way through. I'm telling you, that's what the blessing is. No wonder them Old Testaments, them old saints, boy, when it comes down to the river of Jordan, so to speak, it looks like they got a gleam in their eye, and they're like, let's go, let's go. Hey, I'll tell you, and I'm hushing. They said, oh, John R. Rice's mama said she was a godly mama. He's one that wrote the newspaper for that y'all get a lot of times, Sword of the Lord. And said his mama said, they called all the kids in there and said, Mama been kind of quiet. And said she just sitting there in her bed. And this is old time. And said all of a sudden, said she asked one of her daughters, said, so-and-so said, would you go over there and play How Firm a Foundation? Hallelujah. They said Mama was in her last few hours, last few minutes, so to speak. And said the daughter got over and started playing How Firm a Foundation, you servants of the Lord. Hey, and said, his mama raised up in that bed and went, whoa! And just laid back down real quietly. You know why she wasn't afraid? Because it was a foundation that was sure that all the winds and waves of all this world could crash again. It ain't going nowhere. She knew she had her foot upon the solid rock.
Amen.
Let me ask you this. If you die, or let me say this, if you die without Jesus, you're going into death alone. One man said this. He was an atheist professor. He was laying there dying, or his partner was laying there dying on that. They both stood and said there's no God and all that. And then he was laying there fixing to die and go out of this whole world. And he said, help me. He said, and his buddy was standing there. He said, hold on, son, hold on. And he raised up and he said, hold on to what? And he went off screaming. I'm telling you, there's a difference when it comes to pardon.
Right.
Are you ready to meet God? Don't die alone.
Amen.
Die with somebody that's sticking closer than any brother. Die with a friend like you've never had before. Die with one that'll take you on through and all the way home to heaven. Amen.
Amen.
But I'm saying this, God loves you if you're here lost. He don't want nobody here to die and go to hell.
Amen.
Nobody. God, it's time to wake up. It's high time. Our gracious Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for tonight. God, thank you for your word. God, we do humbly pray, God, that, Lord, you were able to do work within our hearts here tonight. God, that you were able to move like only you can and have a liberty to move within our hearts. God, I pray, Lord, to bind the hands of Satan tonight. And God, that our old flesh, God, would get out of the way. And whatever we're in need of, wherever we're at with you tonight, God, that, Lord, we get that thing right with you tonight before it's eternally too late. I love you, Lord. Thank you, dear Jesus, for loving me. Thank you for dying for me and giving me such